of you asked me, James, please do a video on exterior painted brick color schemes. Very specific, but I'm doing it anyway. It is exterior painting season in this part of the world, so I want to give you 3 different color schemes from Sherwin-Williams that are perfect for that painted brick look. Now, there are a number of situations with painted brick. It could be the entire home, or it can be maybe the front facade that's getting painted and you're leaving the exposed brick on the sides. I find these colors specifically work best with the warmer type of brick, whether it's red, beigey, tan, brown bricks, all those kinds of tones. But if you're starting with cooler brick that maybe wraps around the side or the back of the house, I still think these would be good. I just chose them for those warmer bricks. All right, let's get into it. So the first color scheme is the White House. Now, it's not the one that's in Washington, D.C. This is going to be your house if you want something that is a little lighter. And normally when I go with a white exterior paint color, I tend to go for choices that are not quite as bright as you might expect. So in terms of light reflectance value, this one has an 83. So not quite a 90 or 92, not super bright, just enough softness to give it a bit of a subtle look, but still very much white outside. It's called Dover White, and it's described as a warm sun-splashed white, which is exactly what it's going to be if it's plastered all over your house. It's going to be illuminated outside, but that bit of warmth is great because it'll feel nice and soft and balanced with the cool light that's going to be hitting it. This is an awesome choice because it's not going to feel too vibrant and too bright outside, and it just has that perfect amount of warmth that I really enjoy. Now, our secondary color is going to be the trim in this choice, especially those window frames. It's tricorn black, one of the quintessential black paint colors by Sherwin-Williams, and probably in paint in general. It has a 3 LRV, so extremely dark, the polar opposite, a very, very true to form black as well. There's not really an undertone to speak of, although maybe outside it can go a tiny bit cool. That's more so due to the light rather than the paint itself. And then for the accent color, that finishing color, I would recommend Billowy Breeze. Specifically thinking front door choice here exclusively. This is going to give you just a lovely sky blue, a very welcoming color for your front door to have your guests approach. Hopefully you like having guests around. But the 3 together, very contrasty, really warm white, deep black, and then that beautiful blue to give you a pop of color and lightness. Okay, so now it's time for our mid-tone house. So maybe you want painted brick that is just a little bit middle of the road, not too light, not too dark. Well, I would offer a color called Earl Grey by Sherwin-Williams. It technically is on the darker side of mid-tone, but because it is outside, it will feel a bit brighter than that. It is going to be a charcoal greeny, bluey color, a really nice combination of those 3 components. Definitely a gray overtone, but you see a lot more of that cool green coming through in practicality. Lovely color on its own, but even surrounded by other brick, that whole earthy, organic nature theme is really tied in when you use this color with any type of stone, really. The trim color I would put with it is Alabaster, an incredible off-white. It has a similar lightness to Dover White at 82, but this color just feels a little more neutral, although warm leaning, which is good because, again, I mean, the sun's hot, but the light is actually cool, more blue leaning. So Alabaster will feel pretty clean and stark, which is good, especially as a trim color. It'll really outline Earl Grey nicely. And then for the third color, the accent color, I'd probably recommend Iron Ore, which is similar to Tricorn Black, except this one has a 6 LRV, so a little bit lighter, more of a deep charcoal rather than a jet black, but a pretty similar vibe, I would say. Maybe there's like the tiniest bit of a brown feeling to it, but it's really not that visible at all. It just has a nice charcoal feel that I think would work really well on front doors or even garage doors if you wanted to. Our third color scheme is going to be the Dark House. So this is a color that is in the 12 LRV range, quite dark, quite deep, but still very optimistic. It's called Gray's Harbor. And yes, there is a little bit of gray in it, like a dark gray, but I almost see this more as a slate blue. It has a lovely navy quality to it, and it does inch slightly towards the greeny side of blue rather than purple, which I think works better outside as well. So just a lovely classic blue that is not too vibrant and punchy, but also saturated enough for you to notice that beautiful blue. In terms of a trim color to go with it, I'd recommend Shell White, which is another 83 LRV white. If you notice, there's a trend here, low 80s with my white exterior paint colors. This one does have a really clear, almost orange undertone white. Like it's a beautiful creamy color. I love this combination with navy blue. So if you don't want that clean, stark, sterile white, this is just going to be a little more inviting, a little more traditional feeling. What isn't traditional, however, is the accent color. So this is going to be your front door, and it's going to be Fox Moxie, which is a wonderful, luscious, electric red with a little bit of an orange undertone, kind of a terracotta clay feeling color, but just super saturated. 17 LRV, so there are darker, more rich variations of this color. I did want something a little bit toned down. It's hard to call this color toned down, but you get what I mean. This is a color that will make your front door really, really pop, especially against those other two choices. So color scheme number 1, 2, 3. What was your favorite? We have another video right over here.